This is the Dark Shadow of Light, and you're watching my Let's Play of Shadow the Hedgehog. In the last episode, we did 3 stages of the 5th story of this Let's Play, and in this episode we will finish the 5th storyline, starting by starting the final stage for this Let's Play, and I'll explain what I mean by that later.
The truth is hidden in my memories, but I don't know what I can trust about what I think I know. However, since this all started, something has begun to stir inside of me. I defeated a giant monster that Black Doom summoned from the ground. Aboard the Ark, I clearly remember something that happened 50 years ago as I got the 5th Chaos Emerald. I stopped a rampaging experiment aboard the Ark to protect Maria and the Professor. Wait for me, Maria. Soon the truth will all be clear. Very soon.
Well, Shadow's definitely coming close to answers, at least in this storyline, and we'll complete that storyline by, as I said in the last episode, we'll definitely be getting closer to Doom in this storyline, so just pay close attention.
Maria!
Please, Shadow, I need your help. Everyone's fate depends on you.
Maria! Maria.
Shadow, look! Up there!
Huh? What is that?
Once every 50 years, that black comet passes by this planet. Oh, do you think those black creatures are somehow connected with that comet?
Black comet.
Shadow, what's wrong?
I think you're right. I feel it. They're up there. That's where the answers are. I've got to get to that comet.
So for this storyline, Shadow decides to go to the Black Comet to find answers, and that leads us to the final hot stage, which is the last stage well, not the final stage of the game, but the last story stage, or not even that you've seen in this Let's Play, and we're going to begin that when the game's done loading, and I will begin doing the hero mission at that time.
I can feel them. They're everywhere.
Well, Shadow, looks like we've reached the climax of this little game. Time to make the big boss man responsible for this invasion step up and play.
Yes, we will finally confront Doom, and we'll do a hero mission here. Now, those of you who've been wondering when it would happen, when I would finally show Chaos Control, this is that stage. I'm finally going to show Chaos Control. I'm going to admit right now that I really should have shown it sooner, but better late than never, right? So this stage is it's rather long, but it's not difficult. There are lots of aliens and no gun agents, no humans, but which means that it's quite easy to fill the hero gauge, but quite difficult to fill the dark gauge. Even if you decide to do the dark mission that is here, you will end up filling the hero gauge significantly more than the dark gauge. So I'm about to show Chaos Control right now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what Chaos Control looks like. Yes, that is Chaos Control. Pretty cool, wouldn't you say? Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, now you've seen both versions of Chaos Control, and I will admit that shouldn't have waited until now. It really shouldn't have. But oh well. Now here's what this little wall here that's different from the rest of the wall. you have to use this weapon on that I just used, which is basically a vacuum weapon that we saw in another stage, but I didn't use. So basically, well, I can't explain how the gun works exactly because I'm not an expert in these things, and there's a bit of a glitch you can activate by doing the light dash there. Now, I'm not going to be defeating every single alien that we come across because that would be pretty much an unnecessary use of time. But I will be showing Chaos Control a few times.
The humans have somehow detected our comet's presence. Activate the shield and keep the comet safe from attacks.
No thanks, next time, but not today. The hero mission of this place is to get to the goal ring. The dark mission of this place is to activate the defenses like Doom wants us to. Now, if you're doing the hero mission, you specifically want to refrain from hitting any of the switches. Now, see that? See this? Like what you just saw there? This alien is, this version of the alien giants is pretty much immune to projectile damage. You have to use the homing attack or a melee weapon to defeat it, and you can't use a projectile weapon because regardless of how powerful it is, they'll just block it and be completely unaffected by it. Now, you actually need this gun, if I remember correctly, you need this gun right here for all of these walls. So I'm going to go back and get the gun that I just had, which I know is unnecessary. It's basically an unnecessary use of time, but I really don't need the vacuum gun. If I were to use a gun, I would need one that has offensive capabilities, which the vacuum gun doesn't really have. Yeah, okay. Anyway, now we're going to move on in Final Hunt. Now, something I've managed to, I've shown you guys but not really explained is this. Basically, you do that by holding the R1 button or the R2 button and using the left analog stick and moving in a direction and pressing the jump button. So basically you hold the right button and then basically, I don't know if it's pretty much strafing if you would call it that, but I'm going to, and that's basically a small thing you can do. In some situations it's very useful, in others it's completely useless, but that's not the point. Now, I said earlier in this stage that if you're doing the hero mission, you want to specifically refrain from hitting those switches that Doom wants us to, and you'll see why at the end of the stage. Basically, if you hit one of these things here, yes, it'll open an alternate path for you to take, but it will also activate a force field that we'll see at the end of the stage, but will block the way to the goal ring. And here's another chaos control which you can use to bypass this part of the stage, which would have you pull out a couple of pieces of the wall to block the lasers that obstruct the exit. But if you have a chaos control, you can obviously bypass all of that. Yeah, as I said, you can pretty much just skip it. I will be exchanging this weapon for another one. This isn't the one I'll be using for the entire stage, because there's another one that I'd rather use than this one. And let's see, right, you're supposed to use this vacuum, if you don't have a chaos control, you're supposed to use the vacuum gun on this piece of the wall here. You just use the vacuum gun on this part of the wall, and then, well, not like that, you're supposed to go up and then back around and use the vacuum gun on this part of the wall, and then that will allow you access. Now I'm just going to switch out for this gun here, and like as I just said, we'll be switching out for another gun, and we're 6 minutes into the mission, and I should definitely be going faster than that. I definitely should and would have made more progress by now if I hadn't been so focused on defeating aliens. Now, this is one of the parts of the stage where defeating the aliens is mandatory for the mission, regardless of what you're doing. So these are the guns that I'm going to switch for. These are the ones that I prefer to use over that one right there. Now, I'm not really sure whether or not this gun is better. This is just a gun that I prefer to use. and you obviously see that I'm not opposed to the other weapon because I was using it up until now. Now up here you have to defeat. You don't have to defeat that giant. You have to defeat the giant we're about to defeat, which is this one, which will cause a path of race to appear, which is pretty much your only way to proceed if you're not using chaos control. Now we're 7 minutes in. I should definitely be making better time. Remember this right here because we'll definitely be seeing it again, not just in this stage but in another. I'm not going to spoil anything though. Now yeah, just got more ammunition. I'm pretty sure we don't have to get any more ammunition, but just in case I'm wrong, I will. That's not very important. Yeah, which basically means we have to fall for it like a sucker. Anyway, I'm not going to use chaos control quite yet. What I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to defeat these aliens here and keep the gauge full, increase my score, and then I'll use chaos control. Now that I've showed you chaos control, I'd say, you know, it's kind of worth not having shown. It makes up in a way, it makes up for my poor showing of it so far.
Great, like we needed another problem. Can you still
Now this is what I was talking about earlier when I said don't activate any of those force switches, because as you just saw when I activated this one, it activated this force field here, which will block our way to the goal ring. Two ways to avoid this: either go back and basically deactivate the switch, or you can just jump around it, which I'm going to try, and if I fail then I'm just going to restart and cut. Okay, I failed, so I'm just going to do the first thing I mentioned and just flip the switch again and just get to the goal ring.
Must be linked to a switch somewhere back along the way we came.
Yeah, we already covered that. Just a little thing I decided to do for no reason, but we just completed the hero mission of Final Haunt. It took about twice as long as it should have since I failed, but oh well.
So we meet at last, Black Doom. You're the one responsible for all this villainy.
Yes. Time to confront the big boss about it all. And no, I don't mean that big boss. I mean the boss of the invasion, like Sonic said. Anyway, I'm just going to cut to when we actually get to the next cutscene.
You've done well, Shadow. I'm very impressed you made it this far.
Black Doom, your rule ends here, and it ends now. So you're behind all this. Like it or not, the game's over.
Fools. The Black Arms are more than superior. We are perfect. Do you really think you have any real chance of defeating us?
It's you who should be scared, Black Doom. I made a promise to Maria to save the planet she loved so much, and I will.
Then get ready to die. Let me show you the ultimate power in the universe. Now I will show you just how pitiful you inferior life forms are.
This is it! Let's end this once and for all!
So now we are finally fighting Black Doom. Now, this battle is pretty much, Black Doom only has one weakness, and that's his head. You can attack the body all you want, but that's not going to do anything. Now, he has about, I think, 4 or 5 attacks or something of that regard, something like that, and he's only vulnerable after he's done with his attack, when he'll just basically stand still or float around, not defending himself, and you'll be able to hit the head. Now, if you avoid his attacks and just attack him when he's vulnerable, you'll generally be fine. But if you're just using standard homing attack, the battle is going to be dragged on for a while, actually. Fortunately, in your favor, the camera will pretty much follow Doom whenever he appears. So, as long as he's, out in as long as he has himself revealed to you, the camera will automatically follow him. Now, I could use Chaos Control here, and I probably should, and I will. Now, I'll use it now. This battle I just showed you, this battle is really easy if you do it like that.
This is not over.
Well, for this story, yes, it is over, and you were defeated quite shamefully, easily, if that makes any sense.
Maria loved this planet. I will not let you destroy it. Perfect.
So we just defeated the final boss of the 5th story, and completed the 5th story. Now all we have are the cutscene and credits.
Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
Shadow. This isn't over yet. The Black Arms will rise again.
Let's do this! I'm Shadow the Hedgehog, and I made a promise that I intend to keep. With the power of these emeralds, Black Doom and his army are finished! This is who I am!
As opposed to the previous ending I showed to you in episode 11, in which Shadow decided to destroy the world, in this ending, Shadow decides to use the Chaos Emerald's power to defeat Black Doom and his army, and thereby save the world. Now, the song you're listening to right now is called Waking Up by the band, it's called All Hail Shadow by the band Magnify, and it's definitely a good soundtrack, one of the better ones of the game. Now, there's definitely something I want to explain in particular, which is the videos after this one. Now, I'm not about to tell you guys that I have some sort of issue or that I'm not going to be recording for a while. No, none of that. It's just the way I've decided to play this game, and the way I've decided to do this Let's Play now, now I have to basically decide what I'm going to do in regards to showing you guys another story, because we still have 5 more stories to do before we can actually complete the Let's Play, and there are still missions for almost all of the stages that I haven't shown you guys yet, which means I have to show you guys those missions for stages we've already been to. We've already been to all of the stages, and the final one of those stages, which I showed in the story for this Let's Play, the final stage is Final Haunt, which actually makes sense. That's the point. The point is, we still have to do 5 more stories for this Let's Play at least, and I still have to show you missions for the Let's Play before, so that I can, once those 2 things are done, I'll be able to, not unless and until those 2 things are done, I won't be able to show you guys all that I want to in this Let's Play. So we have to complete all the missions and then get 5 more storylines in, which will allow us to complete the Let's Play. Now, excuse me. In these 5 storylines, we're going to be going back to all of the final stages, and we'll be going back to Lava Shelter, back to the Black Comet, back to Cosmic Fall, back to Gun Fortune, and back to Final Haunt. But in each of those stages now, we're going to do the other mission that we've already, the other mission in opposed to the mission we did this time around. Basically, you'll understand that better. If you don't understand it now, you'll understand it better when we actually get to doing that. So basically, I'm going to complete I'm basically going to go and complete the opposite mission for these final stages, and we'll be going to those final stages in the same order that I did now. So basically, I'm going to go to Lava Shelter, then the Black Comet, then Cosmic Fall, then Gun Fortress, then Final Haunt, and then do the opposite mission from what I did this time around, this round of doing those missions. So that's pretty much it as far as what I have to say goes. I mean, you'll understand better when we actually get to doing it. But the next video, I basically have to plan the move that how I want to do this now, and until that's done, I won't be recording. But I'll make that relatively soon, like maybe a couple days or so. Basically, I have to decide now what I want to do. So the next video will begin most likely in Glyphic Canyon. So yeah, that's basically how it's going to work after this video. So we for doing the final haunt stage, we unlock the heal cannon, which is the only of Shadow's secret weapons that does not serve an offensive purpose. And this is well, we only have one other weapon to unlock in this game, and we won't be unlocking it for a while actually. So we now have the five main weapons, and we have one bonus one that we'll get after completing a certain thing in this Let's Play. But anyway, I'm rambling. Anyway, that concludes this episode of my Let's Play of Shadow the Hedgehog, and then next episode we'll begin another storyline and start doing alternate missions and whatnot. So this has been the Dark Shadow of Light, and I will see you all in time.